The Chiefs fall in the Super Bowl rematch to the Eagles at Arrowhead Stadium by the final score of 20-17. And with this loss, the Chiefs start their season 0-2. Patrick Mahomes, for the first time in his NFL career, has a 3-game losing streak dating back to last season. And first and foremost, I don't know what we have to do to give Patrick Mahomes some help on offense. His offense continues to let him down. The Chiefs continue to squander good defensive performances with just horrendous offensive game plans. I don't know what the philosophy was going into this game. They looked god-awful. Travis Kelce had the biggest play of the game where he dropped the ball at the goal line. It got intercepted, and the safety for the Eagles took it back, and it almost was a pick six if it wasn't for Josh Simmons. That play changed the game. The Eagles ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive, going up 20-10. And the Chiefs were able to get a late touchdown from, Tyquan Thornton. They finally connect on a deep ball, but it was too little too late. And the Eagles used that tush push, and they were able to end up beating the Chiefs on the road in the Super Bowl rematch. I mean, that is just unacceptable. The Chiefs looked god-awful on offense again. The pattern continues. This is the third year in a row the Chiefs' offense has just looked bad. I mean, they just looked bad. And it seems like everybody outside of Patrick Mahomes doesn't know what to do. Patrick Mahomes was the only person in this game that played well, I would argue, on the offensive side of the ball. Travis Kelce didn't look great. And I'm going to go ahead right now and pull up these rushing stats. Patrick Mahomes was 16 of 29 throwing the football for 187 yards and 1 touchdown. He also had that 1 interception, but you can't blame him. Travis Kelce just dropped the freaking football, and after that play happened, the Chiefs' winning probability just dropped. I think it went from a 53% chance of winning the game to like a 22 or 23%, and so that was a massive shift in this game. But looking at the rushing stats, Patrick Mahomes, yet again, is the leading rusher on this team. What do we have to do to actually give him a quality running game? Looking at the other stats, Kareem Hunt, 8 carries for 31 yards, average 3.9 yards per carry. Isaiah Pacheco, 10 carries for 22 yards, 2.2 a carry. He hasn't been good, and he hasn't been good for a while. Rashard Smith, 1 carry for 2 yards. I mean, they didn't really give him the ball. But Isaiah Pacheco has been god-awful dating back to last year. Now, obviously, he was dealing with that injury. He broke his leg. He came back. He wasn't really ready to play, but he hasn't been good. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the receiving stats, and of course, I went just a little bit too far. Travis Kelce, 4 catches, 61 yards, had the biggest drop of the game. Tyquan Thornton, 2 catches for 59 yards and had that touchdown. Hollywood Brown had 5 catches for 30 yards. Nico Remigio had that 1 catch for 21 yards on 3rd down. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster, 1 for 5. Pacheco, 1 for 7. The offense, and specifically the wide receivers, they weren't good, but the running backs also weren't good. And the Chiefs continue to hurt themselves with the mistakes, with the lack of execution. Harrison Butker missed a field goal attempt, and that kind of changed things. I mean, that's a 3-point swing. And guess what? When you miss a field goal, when you go for it on 4th down in your own territory and you don't get it, that's the kind of stuff, including the Travis Kelce drop. When you add in all of those things, the Eagles didn't beat us. The Chiefs beat themselves, and they've done it year after year. And I don't know what we have to do to fix some things on this offense. It's stale, it's old, it's unpredictable. Everybody knows what the Chiefs are going to do, and it's why they haven't been good on offense in 3 years. It has been forever since the Chiefs have been cohesive on offense. I don't know what you do. I mean, you basically have to wait until your top 2 options come back in, Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, because right now they're just not getting it done. And the offensive line couldn't really handle what the Eagles were doing. The Eagles didn't have to blitz at all in that Super Bowl. They blitzed a lot today. They got to Patrick Mahomes, made his life a lot more difficult. And I thought, all things considered, 15 looked great. 15 put the team on his back. He had that one rushing touchdown. You saw him get it done with his legs. He has to get it done with his legs because the Chiefs running backs can't run the football. When you watch Isaiah Pacheco, you don't see someone that can be even out there on third down. If Isaiah Pacheco is out there in a short yardage situation, he's bad. He's horrible. You can't even give him the football. Kareem Hunt is better, but even he is limited in what he can do given his role, given his age. If Kareem Hunt was your number 2 back, that's fine. You can bring him in short yardage situations and he's good. But right now, he's better than Pacheco. Pacheco is basically unplayable on 3rd and 4th down in short yardage situations. Now he can block, but guess what? When, defenses are sending the house, when they're blitzing, when they can rush with their front 4, there's only so much that Pacheco's going to do in terms of pass blocking. And I'm so frustrated with watching this offense on a weekly basis. It's just like, what's new? It's been the same thing over and over and over again. The predictability. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, the pass catchers and the running backs have let him down again. And I don't know what Andy Reid's doing. I thought Andy Reid coached a pretty poor game. I thought the offense looked flat. And guess what? A lot of people are going to be calling for Matt Nagy's job. Matt Nagy's not calling the plays. It's Andy Reid, baby. And so if you see him struggle and you see this offense look bad, it's more indicative of Andy Reid than it is Matt Nagy. And so, what are your thoughts following this embarrassing loss? This is the Super Bowl rematch. The Chiefs were 0-1. They got embarrassed in Brazil. They basically got pantsed. And while they looked good in some aspects of this game, it's just the same old stuff just continues to bite this team in the ass. And I think that the Chiefs are going to have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, are we good enough? Is this a year where we can realistically compete on offense? Because again, outside of Patrick Mahomes, they can't do anything. And it is very apparent that, without 15 playing hero ball, without 15 lowering his shoulder, getting extra yards, running the football with his legs, Chiefs have no chance to win. And, when you have Kelsey, the guy that's supposed to be the veteran presence, the guy that's not supposed to make the mistakes, drop that ball and result in the interception at the goal line, that play changed this game. That play led to the Chiefs' loss. Maybe they get 7. Maybe they settle for a field goal. But guess what? The Chiefs probably end up winning this game. And I think the scary thing, if you're a Chiefs fan, all the small stuff, all of the little mistakes that you've capitalized on other teams making for years, you're starting to make. And the margin for error is so thin. We know this. And the Chiefs have often been the team on the other side of those one-score victories. But guess what? That's not a sustainable model to win football games. It worked last year, and you're starting to see that this year you start 0-2. And some of those one-score games, some of those, plays that you would like to have back where, you end up making a costly mistake, whether it's a missed field goal or a dropped pass that leads to an interception, that's the kind of stuff that loses you football games. And I want to talk more about the Eagles and specifically the Tush push and how that play is absolute bullshit. And we'll get into that right after a word from our fantastic sponsors. This video is sponsored by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation, but time is critical. Rely on the experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's top injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury practice supported by a large team of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more. And best of all, you don't pay unless they win. DM Law operates on a contingency fee basis, meaning no fees unless they win your case. And they also provide free consultations. So if you've been injured, don't wait. You can contact DM Law today for a free consultation and learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on healing. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thanks to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. Huge thanks to the sponsors that have supported this channel during the season. Now, let's talk about the Tush push, because this is one of the most controversial plays in the NFL. The Chiefs tried to vote to ban it in the offseason, and I personally think that you shouldn't penalize a team for being good at something. I know a lot of people think that, it's a boring play. If it's a 3rd and short, a 4th down, it's essentially automatic. You're going to get it. But here's my problem with the Tush push. You saw on multiple attempts, I would say 92% of what I saw from the Tush push in this game, the guards for the Eagles are jumping before the ball is even snapped. And how are you as a defensive line going to stop that? The play is damn near unstoppable as is. When you've got the Eagles false starting on a nearly impossible play to stop to begin with, of course you're getting the first down. Of course you were able to continue dominating up front because your guards are jumping. You were getting an advantage on a play that is already heavily skewed towards the offense. I don't blame the Chiefs defense one bit for not stopping the Tush push. And guess what? There were a couple times today where they did. And the times that they didn't, most of the time, there was a false start by the Eagles guards, and the refs just didn't call it. And so for everybody out there saying that the refs love the Chiefs are the NFL's darling, guess what? I watched a lot of plays today where, the Eagles might have done something, specifically the Tush push and jumping off sides, and, the false starts. That's the kind of stuff that if it was the Chiefs and Jawan Taylor, it's getting called. Do we need Chris Collinsworth to talk about how the Eagles are jumping on the Tush push for it to get banned? I don't know. Do the NFL officials need to finally look into, are these guys getting a jump? Because that resulted in multiple points. The Eagles were able to get a touchdown on that. They were able to get the first down to ice the game on that. I think it's something to consider. But I've been negative in this video. I understand that. I'm going to try to be positive in this last segment. I do think the Chiefs defense showed you a much improved version of themselves in this game. I know there were a couple plays that made you want to pluck your eyeballs out, like the play where Trent McDuffie got lost in coverage and Smith caught that ball that resulted in them scoring. That's bad. And that was a mishap by McDuffie, who is an all-pro and truthfully probably should have been guarding in the slot and not on outside, but that's neither here nor there. But that's a mistake. The pass rush struggled at times. You saw Omar Norman-Lott absolutely blow up Jalen Hurts on that play. They got pressure in specific moments, but it's almost like they can't get pressure unless they blitz. But I'll say this. You held one of the better offenses in football to 20 points on, at home. And if your offense showed up to play football, you would have probably won. And so I'm coming away from this game feeling like the offense is the thing that let this team down. The offense is why you lost. And outside of Patrick Mahomes, who played well? Travis Kelce looked good before the drop, but even he, you saw him on the sideline. He was fired up because it's like, why does Patrick Mahomes have to run for 60 yards and be the leading rusher? Like, you think Isaiah Pacheco is going to get paid this offseason when he looks like that? Like, the Chiefs need to significantly invest in the running back position. I feel like they have just ignored it for so long, and it's because the Chiefs don't want to run the ball. Andy Reid wants to throw the ball. Well, guess what, Andy? It hasn't worked in the past 3 years. The Chiefs' offense has been stale. The Chiefs' offense has been too gimmicky, and the Chiefs' offense hasn't been good enough. And it's why the Chiefs are starting their season 0-2. Now, the good news is the Broncos lost as well. They lost to the Colts. But again, this division, it's a good division. The AFC West is stacked. You cannot keep affording to drop these games. And so the Chiefs fall to the Eagles in the Super Bowl rematch at Arrowhead Stadium by the final score of 20-17. They made it look closer at the end because Tyquan Thornton finally caught that ball, deep downfield for Mahomes. Mahomes was off with his deep ball today multiple times. But I'm not blaming this loss on Mahomes, but I think it is worth mentioning he hasn't looked good on the deep ball. But regardless, the Chiefs start their season 0-2 and hope to finally get on their, winning ways and get their first win of the season next week against the New York Giants. So that's all I've got for this video. Drop your take down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think I'm spot on? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. We're trying to build one of the largest Chiefs fan bases on YouTube. And I would appreciate it if you guys, if you're watching at this point of the video, hit that like button and subscribe. So thank you guys for watching. And as always, go Chiefs.